Kevin's been massive for the chickpea industry, particularly in the northern region. He really instilled some confidence into growers because he had that clear, consistent messaging that growers could adopt readily on their farm, and also really approachable, able to provide feedback to growers if they had any questions around how they might manage something, and just the miles he put in. I don't think, a chickpea wasn't considered grown unless Kevin had seen it.
I think Kevin's contribution in particular has been foundational in the establishment of chickpeas as a crop. We have the tools now, and we have the next generation of researchers coming through that are still basing our next generation of management packages on that foundational work that Kevin did working with the breeding program and other pathologists across the country as well.
I think it's very fitting that GRDC and the industry recognises the massive contribution that Kevin has made to the industry over such a long period of time. And as part of Kevin's great work, we now have a very vibrant, sustainable and successful chickpea industry that otherwise may not have been the case.
I would love to present you with the seed of gold.
Well, it was a huge honour. I was presented with the award at the Goondiwindi update earlier this year, and privileged to have 2 of my 4 children there, and my wife Ros was there, so it was really great.
Renowned senior plant pathologist Dr. Kevin Moore has spent more than half a century working in the grain sector. He received GRDC's Seed of Gold Award in recognition for his outstanding contribution, dedication and commitment to communicating research outcomes to the Australian grains industry.
Kevin was an outstanding communicator. I think lots of people never forget Kevin's field days. He came in very strongly, very clear messages, and with an understanding second to none of Ascochyta blight and how to manage it.
Kevin had a great skill in being able to take science and convert it into a language that anybody could understand. So what are the practical applications or management practices farmers could put in place? Whether you managed 100 hectares or 1,000 hectares of chickpeas, the conversation was exactly the same about what could farmers practically do to manage such an important disease.
Ascochyta blight was first recorded in Australia, I think, in 1974, but it didn't cause widespread damage to the Eastern Australian chickpea crop until 1998. Well, Ted Knight said to me, look, can you go and have a look at a few crops and talk to the growers, because that's what I sort of do, I like talking to growers. So, and I knew the geography of the area where chickpeas were being grown, so I spent about 6 weeks in 1998, the year that Ascochyta blight caused widespread damage in the Eastern Australian chickpea crop, and gathered some pretty useful information, which led to the development of a management plan that was released to the industry in time for the 1999 planting. And nowadays, there's no reason any chickpea grower in Australia, or at least in Eastern Australia, should lose money to Ascochyta blight. They might have to spend some money, but they should never lose a crop.
Kevin's been really critical in our ability to breed better varieties for Australian grain growers, largely through understanding the disease resistance of a variety, and more importantly how a grower can manage it effectively to get the true yield potential out of that variety and not be compromised by a disease through poor management or poor variety selection.
Dr. Kevin Moore's Seed of Gold Award has taken its place among the many other accolades that he has received over the years. Kevin will officially retire this year, but don't worry, he'll still be keeping his finger on the pulse.
I mean, I like chickpeas, I like to eat them, and they're a great crop from a pathology point of view. Yeah, I think I'll always be interested in chickpeas. And they form a crucial part of the cereal-based farming system up here. I mean, there'll be a lot of growers out there that say we're primarily chickpea farmers who grow occasional wheat crops. Whereas 10 years ago it was the other way around. And that's due in part to the improved varieties that have come out of the breeding programs, initially by Ted Knights and now by Christy Hobson, and the combined efforts of all the support disciplines, including plant pathology. Yeah. So I see chickpeas having a bright future.